Hello. So I kind of want to talk about Arcane because I finished it and my heart is broken into a billion pieces. It's been a long time since I felt this way after finishing a series. And maybe that's because I haven't finished a series in a long time because I started One Piece. I actually started watching Arcane a little bit late. I started watching it a year after it came out because my sisters were like, Angela, watch Arcane. It's so good. Nah, 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 nah. And I was always so drawn to the art style. The art style was so beautiful to me, and I'm a sucker for amazing visuals. Even if it's a bad movie, if it's a pretty movie, I will watch it and then I will leave a bad review. I've never played League. The first time I heard about League was when I was like 12, and my friend at the time was like, Angela, play League of Legends with me, la la la. But at the time, I did not have a PC. I only had like 2 gigabytes of internet. So there was no way for me to get into this brain rot game. Maybe it's a good thing, right? Maybe it's a good thing. I kind of want to play though. I kind of want to play now. I watched Arcane a year after it came out, and I loved it so much that I started dating my boyfriend, and I was like, okay, you're gonna have to watch Arcane. So I watched it again, the first season again. Throughout the beginning of this year, we would watch episodes here and there until we finished it. And then season 2 came out and we were able to watch it together. And it was so great. And I don't know, I just really want to talk about it. I'm not gonna lie, even though I watched season 1 twice, I feel like I don't remember much because season 2 was just so different from the first season. It's kind of giving when I was 12 years old and I watched Romeo x Juliet, because that show took a big turn and everything turned very mystical and fantasy. Even though it was fantasy elements throughout the story, it just took a big turn, and it kind of reminded me of Arcane a little bit, like the ending part, like Exodus and then Viktor. I think it was phenomenal. I feel like the ending didn't feel like an ending, but it felt like an ending at the same time. And I don't know how to explain it. Also, I'm going to be talking about this without any notes. I'm just going off with vibes right now. Let's talk about the story. I'm not even going to lie. I feel like I forgot everything. It really started off with like Jinx and Isha, I think her name is, the little girl, their relationship. And I think it kind of was like a parallel to Silco and Jinx, but not as bad, if that makes sense. Because I think Silco also was kind of lonely and found like a friend within Jinx, but it was like a very toxic relationship because he was feeding her a lot of like things in her brain. So she thought very badly about like, you know, her family. With Isha, I feel like it was a little different because Jinx found family in her and like a friend and someone that like really cared and loved her through Isha. And I think this was like kind of the start of her turning point where she was like, maybe life is good. Maybe life can be good. Maybe things could be different. And like, I think that was really the big turning point for her until she ran away. I don't know. And then, oh my God, I cried the episode during the freaking war scene. She's just like grabbing the gun and then she's running. She was like putting all 3 of the, I don't even remember what they're called. Blue balls. The 3 blue balls. I can't even remember what they're called. I just woke up. I'm just telling you right now. She's gonna like shoot Vander because he went cray cray because, oh my God, this whole other thing happened. So they're running, her tears are falling on her eyes, and then she has the gun, and bang. And then the episode ends, along with all the flashbacks. So it's like, when there's a flashback of their whole life, you know it's over. It's over. That was like so sad to me because Jinx finally found like a sister and a friend to share the way she is, and who she is accepted by somebody. And I think that point when she passed away really destroyed Jinx because she was like, death just follows me everywhere, especially with, you know, Vander passing away, Milo and the guy with the glasses. I don't remember because it was so long ago and they were only there for like 3 episodes when Jinx like shot her thingy, her bullet thing into the tower thing, and then a lot of people passed away because, including Caitlyn's mom, right? And she didn't even know. But I think she felt like death just follows her and there's nothing good that can come out of her life. She got captured. She was in jail. I don't know why, but I love the scene when she was in jail. Not like, you know, not because she's in jail, but like the artist depiction of it. I think she was stripped down a lot because obviously when you're in jail, you can't have like things that can harm yourself or can aid you in escaping. Jinx was like there without her braids in and without like shoes and stuff. I don't know if she was wearing shoes. Yeah. right? And like she was just like in her most vulnerable state that we've seen her throughout the whole show, when she's just like curled up in a corner, her hair is like covering her. It's like kind of like her hair is like the only thing that's protecting her, but it's like hair is not gonna do anything, right? It's not gonna protect you in any way. So it's like, yeah, she was like in her most vulnerable state, and she's just in the corner, and her pink eyeball, like so sad, was just like peeking through as Vi was like talking to her. And I don't know why, but that scene looks so familiar to me. I feel like I've seen something similar somewhere, but I cannot put my finger on it. So if anyone knows what I'm talking about, it's probably from an anime or something. I'm not sure, but it looks so familiar to me. And I don't know why I felt like so sad. And then, you know, Vi tries to get her out. She like unlocks the door. She gives her a hug. And like, this is like the first time they really like hugged. And then she like escapes, locks Vi in the freaking jail cell. And it's like, you know what? Maybe I should just unalive myself, because I feel like there's nothing that can be good. And Vi was like, Jinx, don't do it. And then she's just like, peace, I'm out. The moment when Ekko comes back, which is a whole other topic. He comes back and she nonchalantly pulls the bomb, and then it explodes, and then Ekko comes back, and then he does like the time loop thing where he goes back 4 seconds. To me, it's just so sad, because when there is a scene where someone is like unaliving themselves, there's always like this big build up towards it. To me, when Jinx kind of just pulled the trigger at that point, it was just like nothing. You know what I mean? There was no build up, just because of how depressed she was in the moment. You know, like how I have no hesitation at all. I'm just gonna pull the trigger and go. You know what I mean? I think that was the saddest part of it. It was just like burning everything and then bam, right? No buildup or whatsoever. Now, I'm not saying there needed to be a buildup, but it just showed that she really just didn't want to be here anymore. And I think that was so heartbreaking. But then when Ekko came, he was like, 4 seconds, stop. The way it would just go back and forth, her just pulling it without hesitation, until Ekko was like, let me catch my breath before you blow both of us up. And then she was like, I'm done talking. And then she decides to jump off the ledge and then pull the trigger, because she was like not even thinking in the moment, like, oh, I'm gonna kill Ekko right now. And then after he kind of like says that, she's like, I'm done talking. And then she jumps off and then pulls the trigger. The way I see it, it's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't like unalive Ekko too. You know what I mean? But I think just before that, she just was not even thinking about it until he said something. You know, oh, she also cut her hair, and her hair short was so beautiful too. I think it also showed like hair cutting scenes also like really symbolize change. You know, like that TikTok meme that's like hair holds memories, and then like the girl does a tradition and then it's like her hair is short. Hair holds memories. I also saw like this thing on Twitter like a long time ago. I think it was before season 2 even aired. And it was like theories about Jinx, because we already seen like some visuals, like her shark outfit, and her hair is short in that episode, right? And then people were like, oh, like maybe like she cut her hair because like Silco used to brush her hair and she cut her hair because she doesn't know how to take care of it anymore. And I think that could be also a really good theory, but I really think it's just like hair cutting scene, like this is a new beginning. But maybe in that moment, it's not really a new beginning, but it's more like of an end to her. Ekko comes, talks some sense into her, and is like, hey, you know, he probably talked about what he's seen in the other world. And the other world breaks my heart 10 billion times. 10 billion times, a million, billion, zillion times. So Ekko talks to her about how, probably, right? We're guessing. Everyone on Twitter is like theorizing that he probably talked to her like how he talked to Powder in the other world about Vi. He probably talked to her about herself and the things that he learned from her, like how life is never too late to change yourself, to like have a new beginning. So he probably talked to her about it, and then in the final battle scene, they're like together, they're so cute, they have like freaking paint all over each other. So then Jinx came to help battle, you know, the weird alien guys and the girly girl I forgot everyone's name, and to stop Viktor from Victoring. Ekko and Jinx like split up at this point, and then Jinx is like fighting, helping out Vi in that one room. And then Vander's there, but it's so sad because Vander's not there anymore. And there's like a small piece of me that's kind of like, Vander is alive, right? No, he's not alive. And that's so freaking sad. Oh my god, I have to go and get into Vander too. And yeah, so they're like in that room, they're fighting. Vander's like, grah, 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 grah. And then after the whole Jayce and Viktor doing their thing, Ekko saving everybody, and then we think that Vander is KO'd. Vi kind of sees Vander just laying there, and she has flashbacks to that night where he was like intoxicated with Shimmer, and he was like, I have no more time left. on the ground. It just was so sad. And I think at the time, whenever I was watching, I was like, Vi, get out of there. He's stupid. He's not alive. And like, even Jinx was like, you can't save him. GG's. But after thinking about it without my emotions getting in the way, it really was such a vulnerable moment for her, because it really was like the end of like the fight. Vander's there. She's getting flashbacks to that moment. People online were saying she never did really get the chance to mourn Vander's death. Probably. I don't know. But she really just had to like move on, grow up, and do her thing. It was just so heartbreaking because they really had a small chance of Vander coming back. And they only got to see Vander for the first time after many, many, many years. Even though he was not in his same state, his soul, they got to see his soul again. And to see that, they loved him and that he really cared for them and that they see him as a father. He took care of them for majority of their life growing up. It's kind of like in real life where a loved one is in the hospital and then I'm gonna cry. A loved one's in the hospital and they're really sick and you really know like, oh, this is like the end for it. We have to prepare everything because this looks like it's the end. Sometimes there's like a glimmer of hope where they get better. They feel like themselves again. It's kind of felt like that where there was like a glimmer of hope towards the end and you really feel like he's gonna get better. But then the next day, it's all gone. I can only imagine how heartbreaking that was because it really felt like stories like that. Vi and Jinx felt like they've lost Vander for so long. He had a chance of getting better through Viktor, but then Jayce was like, nah, bonk. But at the end of the day, even if Jayce didn't do that, I feel like it wouldn't have worked out anyways. I kind of could empathize a little bit more with Vi in that moment where, she just saw Vander's chimera body on the ledge and then she just started breaking down and I'm just, every time like I think back to where she just like fell down to the ground and then she started just weeping. I get so sad. The end of Jinx where Vander Chimera woke up and it was like, "Arr, arr, arr, arr." And then Jinx was like, I'm gonna save my sister because that's all she ever wanted to do was save her sister. And at the end of the day, she jumped off the ledge, grabbed Vander, pulled the trigger on the bomb, and she exploded herself with him. I feel like Jinx's death, we're gonna get into the death part, but I think Jinx's death didn't feel as sad as Isha's, for example. It also transitions into the theory that Jinx is not dead. This is a theory that my sister told me. I don't know where she got this theory, probably from online. So credits to whoever thought of this theory, not me. Apparently, Jinx probably during the explosion like jumped out of the explosion last minute and into event. And there's like a pink strip when there's an explosion, so it kind of shows that she like zoomed into there. And then before Vi and Caitlyn like talk, there's like this moment where Caitlyn is on the computer researching things about the vents. People are theorizing that Jinx is alive, she hid in the vents. Caitlyn probably is theorizing that she's alive and she was the one on the singular flying ship and she's like going somewhere else. She always dreamed to be on those ships. I think she said early on in the first season that she always wanted to be on those ships flying. So at the end of the day, she finally decided to go on that ship, and that Silco said that Jinx should pull herself out of the equation. So I think this is a redemption arc, a little bit like Sasuke. Sasuke from Naruto, where he kind of had to be on his own journey and kind of, figure things out. So I think it's giving Sasuke. I just think it's really sad because I think one of the quotes that Ekko said was to move forward. And when you move forward, you have to leave some things behind. And I think this is what Jinx is doing. And she's moving forward, even though she has to leave a couple things behind. She just needed a new start. And I think my sister said that Jinx also has like a best friend in another region of League of Legends. So that might be where she's going. But I don't know. Apparently this is the end of Arcane as a show. So I don't think we're going to be following these characters anymore. I believe that they said that they're already starting new stories for the Arcane universe. That just might be it. Like we might see Jinx in the future or other characters in the future as cameos, but I don't think we're going to be following the story anymore. That's why I kind of felt like an ending, but also not an ending. That was like Jinx's story. There's also Caitlyn and Vi. Oh my god, Caitlyn and Vi. Okay. I'm gonna be honest. So when I first started watching the series, I was kind of like, oh, Caitlyn and Jayce, right? You kind of like see that Jayce kind of likes Caitlyn in the beginning of the story. I don't know their age difference. I have no idea anything about their ages, so I don't know. But I was kind of thinking like, oh, Jayce kind of likes Caitlyn. And I was like, ooh, that's kind of cute. And then after, there's like a time skip, right? And you're kind of like, oh shoot, Caitlyn does not like Jayce, right? Caitlyn and Vi, I'm just gonna talk about the relationship a little bit. I think they're really freaking cute. I think in the beginning I was a little like, a little shy about it, because you know they're a little like cupcake, you're hot cupcake. Caitlyn was like, what? I don't know what's happening. I think Caitlyn was kind of like questioning herself. Do I like her? Do I not? I don't really know what's happening right now. I think it's also because she had to keep her order because she was like an officer of the upside world. You know, she's not really doing what she was supposed to be doing, being down there with Vi. Their whole relationship developed over time, even though it was like sad. Vi had this whole emo phase where she was like, I'm gonna be a boxer, dye my hair black and wear black eyeshadow and eyeliner and stuff, and then tattoo my back, get hella ripped because a girl broke my heart. That's so funny to me. I don't know why. Cait and Vi, they're kind of cute. And the freaking bob hair girl, I forgot her name. It's like Madeline or something like that. Was it Maddie? I don't know. I did not see that coming, and I feel like everyone did not see that coming. But I guess she was a spy from the beginning, right? And I think it was kind of crazy that she was all like, oh my god, Violet, you're so cool. And I was like, oh my god, this girl is so cute, I love her. And then like all of a sudden she'd be doing stuff with Cait after their breakup, and I was like, get away, hello. Ooh. What, every time she was with Cait, I was like, get away from her. Get away from her. Even though it's not really only her, it's like Cait too, because like she be doing stuff. But like, I was like, ew, no, this is not my ship. Oh, before the whole breakup scene, Cait and Vi like had like a kiss scene, and I totally missed it because me and Jerome were watching it together, and then like Leo, our cat, not my cat, my godson cat, and his cat, his parents' cat, his sister's cat. We were like yapping and like playing with Leo a little bit, and then like continued watching the show, and we missed the kiss scene on Twitter. And I see the scene of them kissing on Twitter, and I'm like, did this happen? Is this real? And then I literally had to go back to the episode, and I'm like, it's real. We missed it. And then we're like, oh, doink. Yeah. That whole thing happened, and it was kind of silly that we missed the whole kiss scene, and I had to see it on freaking Twitter. So Caitlyn, I think she had one of the biggest character developments aside from Jinx, and maybe Viktor, and maybe Jayce. I don't know. In the beginning, I think she just like was a little ooh-woo, didn't know what she was doing, but she had that like really strong heart in her. You could see how shy she was in the beginning too. Like she was not very good at combat. She could only like get a gun. She couldn't do anything else. Later on, she trains with Abella as the girly. I forgot her name. Sorry. She can fight now, and she's like a lot braver. She literally became a dictator for a little bit. What? Really? She did? And I think with Cait, the whole like ending scene, battle scene with Mel's mom, Cait was like so brave. She was really brave. She was like, let's fight. Even though she had Mel on her side, Mel was like basically a shield for her the whole time. That fight was really cool. And I think her combat throughout the war scene in the green smoke was really, really, really cool too. And she looked so good. She just looked so good. I don't know why I jumped scenes, but Vi and Cait in the jail cell. At the time, I was kind of like, girl, your sister is like doing stuff. She gonna do bad things to herself. I'm not saying that scene was unnecessary, but maybe it was bad timing, but I don't know at the same time. I'm here for it though. You're doing stuff, and it was like kind of spicy. And apparently, like I saw on Twitter, I don't know if this is true or not. Well, the artist said the scene was actually a lot more explicit. I thought it was a little spicy already, but I guess not. The head guys running the show are like, guys, this is too spicy. Cut it down. So then they cut it down. Apparently, it was written a lot more spicier, and everyone's like, release the tapes. Release what was cut. Release the script. We need to see it. So maybe someday we will see it happen. Anyways, that scene was spicy. Happy for her. It's so funny because Cait was like so shy, and then she'd be like, now. You know what I mean? Kind of crazy. I don't really know. I feel like not much happened with Vi towards the ending other than the whole Vander stuff. I saw on Twitter before everyone's like, oh, like Vi and Cait should have a happy ending. And then now that like Ekko and Powder were a thing, they're like, oh my God, I'd rather switch Ekko and Powder than like Vi and Caitlyn having a happy ending. It's like, bro, why can't they all just have a happy ending? Okay? Why can't they all have a happy ending? And I think if Jinx is alive, I think at the end of the day it is a happy ending. And I'll get into Ekko's story in a bit. Maybe I should just get into Ekko's story right now. So Ekko, I don't know why, but this whole time I thought he was like within Jayce. I thought him and Heimerdinger, is that his name? I thought him and Heimerdinger were inside of Jayce the whole time. That's why he was acting a little cray-cray. Because I thought it was similar to how Viktor and the girly were like kind of like one. So because they were like sucked into the void, I thought it was like the same thing, but I guess not. So it turns out they were like teleported into a different dimension. A dimension where if Vi died, everything would have worked out happily, which sucks because... which sucks. Ekko is in this world and he's kind of like, oh my God, life is weird right now. All these people that are not supposed to be alive are alive, and that Jinx or Powder is Powder. That Vi is not there. Life is good. Everyone has their little like coffee shops, their little bars, living life, making money, no war. All the kids are running around and being happy, right? So it's basically just a life without... I forgot. I keep thinking Arcane. What is it called? The freaking blue stuff? Let me search it up. Blue stuff in Arcane. Hex tech. A life without hex tech is a happy one, basically. So Ekko's here. He's like, what's happening? Why is everything weird? I feel like I'm here, but I'm also not here. And then Heimerdinger is like, yo, Ekko, you're finally here. And then like he explains, yeah, we kind of like hop dimensions and like we're not really from here, but it's nice. I love it here. It's great. And then Ekko's like, bruh, how long have we been here? And he's like, for like 1,000 or so days. And then Ekko's like, huh. Interesting. So then they decide to like make a contraption to somehow like get teleported back, but at the same time they kind of like make a time loop thing. The science is confusing to me, but it's like a time loop thing where they can go back in time a little bit, but they also like made like a dimension thing with the ball thing. I don't know. It's kind of confusing to me. But yeah, so in this world, Powder is happy. She's alive and happy. She's just sad and mourning her sister to this day, but it feels like she moved on, right? She still just remembers her sister. And Ekko is like, before he really figures out, hey, like, I'm not really from this world, he kind of says a lot of weird things that makes Powder feel upset. The way that Ekko makes up for it is so freaking sweet, and he draws Vi, the Vi that he knows from his world, on the tree. He shows Powder Vi and what she could have became and how cool she is and how amazing she is. And Powder's like, yeah, of course she's gonna be amazing. That's my sister. I love her. She's like the most amazing person I've ever known. And I just think it's like, that was just a sweet moment. So Powder also helps out with the contraction, even though she doesn't really know what's going on, but she kind of helps out because she is a little techie like that. And that's what I love about her. And yeah, so Heimerdinger is like, yeah, go to the party. So they go to the party thing and they're like dancing and the French music is going. And then we also cut to like Jayce struggling in future void. Heimerdinger going ding 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 ding. You know what I mean? With his guitar. It was so funny because in the moment we would just laugh every time it cut to Jayce because it's like, what? And then we would laugh every time it cuts to Heimerdinger, and we'd feel so sad every time it cuts to Ekko and Powder because it's like a world of what could have happened only if Vi died. Vi, man, it's all on you. No, I'm joking. Basically, in that world, Ekko and Powder were a thing already, and they were kind of like having a romantic moment. They kind of like, you know, he's like, can we do this for the first time? Like, it's the first time, because I think they were in that world, they're like together. So obviously, it's not their first kiss, but it would be Ekko's first kiss. Ekko of our world, first kiss. Then they kind of kiss, and they're like, cute, and everyone's like, ah. We're all like, ah. Right? Because it's like a world where this could have happened if only Vi died. Right. So sad. Anyways, I'm just joking. But I think it's basically in different dimensions. One thing that could have happened changed the future. It's like the butterfly effect, right? So it could be something that you don't really expect, but it's what changed everything. So in this world, because Vi died during the first episode, where Vi and then the crew were trying to like steal stuff from Jayce's like lab and stuff, and then Powder made the explosion But then there, she actually died in the explosion and they got caught. So I guess when that happened, Hex Tech ended up not really being a thing. I saw on Twitter, someone was saying, I know everything's from Twitter. Twitter sucks, whatever, but there's some good things in there, okay? So on Twitter, I saw someone talking about how in the first episode, the reason why Vi and the crew were able to escape was because Caitlyn actually dropped something in the other room, like as they were approaching, which indicated, oh shoot, someone's coming. And then that's what made them escape. Cait is the reason why Vi lived. So I'm assuming in this world, Caitlyn probably didn't drop anything, or Caitlyn wasn't there. I don't know. Or there was no indicator that someone was approaching and then they got caught. But I think that's such a cute theory because it's like in the world that we're like, you know, living in. So that dimension, Caitlyn and Vi are meant to be together. And because they're meant to be together, Hextech happened and the world went to shit. But then at the end of the day, it all got fixed too. It all worked out. It just costed a couple lives. And then in the other world, Vi and Caitlyn were probably not meant to be. Also, I think it's interesting as well because when Ekko left that world, Jinx or Powder kept all of the Hex Tech jewels in a drawer. I think that's so interesting because there's a theory that she was in that world during the whole, you know, with the papers. It might not be because we do know that when Ekko was going home, the Ekko of that world, he was just inhabiting the body of Ekko of that world. His whole being didn't really travel through. It was more like of his like consciousness that traveled through and inhabited the body of Ekko of that world. If that really was Powder or Jinx, it most likely isn't. If she traveled dimensions through the same way that Ekko did, she would be inhabiting the body of Jinx of that world. But in that picture, she kind of has like space buns and stuff, right? So I don't know. I'm entertaining the idea, but I also don't know. But I really love the theories. I think they're really fun to listen to and read. So I really don't know. We'll only have to like wait and see. So Ekko going back. And then it's kind of sad because there's a big part of me that was like, Ekko, you could literally just stay there and just live your life. What I find admiring about Ekko is that he knew that this Jinx was not his Jinx or his Powder. And that he has people back at home that he has to save. And he knew that responsibility. I don't think it would have been selfish of him to stay. Because honestly, life there looks so freaking good, right? I would be tempted. And I think he was a little bit, but I think he knew his responsibility and his like ultimate goal was to save everyone back home. No one talks about Heimerdinger enough. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, where did he go? He vanished. Because remember when they were testing how far they can go in like the time loop and it was only 4 seconds and it was because Heimerdinger was going to explode and I guess because they kind of had to amp it up a lot more, he exploded too. And I'm not really sure why, but I think that's why. And I think Heimerdinger knew what happened and I think it was so sad. Like no one talks about this, but he was like, Ekko, you know, out of my many years of living, meeting you was the first time I've ever actually really lived. And it was like so sad. And then he just exploded and disappeared into nothingness. And then Ekko was able to travel back to his true dimension. I think it was also really sad because it's like Powder was like holding the body of Ekko of her dimension. And then she saw Ekko of the other dimension in the portal thingy. And then he was just like there. And you could see like the difference. You could see how, you know, clean and like prepped up Ekko of her world is versus Ekko in the world that we know of. I'm not saying that he's dirty. I'm saying that like you could see there's a big difference in the two. You could see that he really went through a lot of battles. He struggled. There's just something going on. You know what I mean? I try to put myself into Powder shoes in that moment. And I feel like I would think, dang, like my man's hot. But like I would be like, dang, this is like my man in a different world, in a different life. She probably realized in that moment everything that he said from the dream was possibly true. And then Ekko came back, saved Jinx of his world from unaliving herself and aliving him too by accident. And then, you know, I think she had like another moment of rebirth in that moment. It seems like she was like, yeah, we can live, we can do this. And I think he really inspired her. And I think he told her about the other Powder and like it's possible. Even though you went through all this stuff, it's always possible to reinvent yourself and be a better person. And I think he really inspired her to do that stuff. And then, you know, how even like her new outfit, so cute with the shark. It's crazy because Ekko ended up saving everybody. I remember Jayce was saying, we are destined to fail. Like this whole mission, this whole battle, we are destined to fail because he's seen the future. But Ekko was the only one that was able to, you know, time loop it back a little bit. I hope he got the credit for it though, because Jayce was was literally like, GG's, it's over. Take me now. I guess in another world, in another lifetime, I will fix it. I've seen how this is supposed to end. Ekko comes in, heck nah. And then he was like having his like time device, pulling it. He was battling all the alien guys. And then he really did it. He really did it. It's crazy because the 4 seconds was already up. Like he would go 4 seconds and then he would still be captured. So he had to take the chance and like go a lot farther back. And that's what really helped and ultimately saved everybody. And I think that was so amazing. Ekko was like so cool. He was really the savior of everyone and I did not see it coming. I did not see it coming. Good job, Ekko. So everyone thinks, I think at the end, everyone thinks that Jinx is gone. I don't know if gone by like left. And it's so sad because on Twitter, you can see the parallels of the scene of Ekko and Jinx at the party. You know how they're like sitting on the ledge and they're like together and they had their kiss and everything. They show like a parallel of him in that world and how he's all alone in a destroyed city. But this is what he chose to do. And I think he was so brave and so selfless in choosing to do that. And I think that's what made Ekko like probably one of the best characters, to be honest, in the story. And I think he needs more credit. Everyone has to like, they need a memorial for Ekko, like a freaking statue of him in the city because he really did that. And if Jinx did, you know, fly away in her ship to another land to reinvent herself, she also did choose to leave everyone behind. She chose to go forward. She does have to like leave some things behind. And she'll be like leaving her memories of her life, her hometown, her sister, and Ekko. But I think Jinx knows that Ekko will be okay. And I think she knows that Vi will be okay because she has Caitlyn. And I think this time Jinx kind of had to choose herself over everybody else. So yeah. Okay, I think I'm going to end this off with talking about Jayce and Viktor because Jayce and Viktor was a whole other story. I feel like after episode 6, so the second act of season 2, we were kind of like, how in the world are they going to finish all of this? These like plot lines in the next 3 episodes. And I guess they kind of did, but there's parts of me that felt like it was a little rushed. I don't know, but I think it still ended the way it's supposed to. I think I was really confused about the whole Black Rose thing. I think that's the one thing that I didn't really understand and I still don't really understand. So I'm probably going to watch a YouTube video on it. Was Mel's mom like possessed at the end by the Black Rose person and then Mel kind of saved her? That's what I think I kind of got from it just from watching it once. I think the Black Rose, like they were trying to get Mel because she has this power that she was born with. But yeah, the whole Mel thing, I didn't really understand. So I think I'm not really going to talk about it much, but I will say the final battle with her mom, Caitlyn, and Mel, I think was so amazing. She was so cool. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about Mel other than she's just amazing and I don't really understand her story part, but I'll learn about it later on. But Jayce and Viktor. So Jayce and Viktor, freaking best friends forever, partners for life. I think their story was probably one of the saddest. Viktor, I really loved Viktor. I think he was one of my favorite characters in the first season. And I remember he was like getting this power and we were all like, Jesus? Huh? And then he's like getting his disciples and stuff like that. But it kind of turned a little bit darker than that. I guess because Viktor had an illness that he was suffering from. And he also had problems walking throughout his whole life. I would understand how desperate one can be to find a way to live more comfortably. I think that was like one of his top motivators with the whole hex tech stuff. The scene where he almost unalived himself and then Jayce comes and talks with him. That scene in the first season was really sad too. I think Viktor kind of just felt like, this is how I feel. I feel like I don't want suffering. I want to feel alive like a normal person. And then he sees other people suffering and he discovers he has this power to relieve them of this suffering. So he wants to remove suffering in the world and create like a utopia type beat. It kind of gets out of hand to the point where the people that he's trying to save don't really end up as people, because to be a human, you have to have flaws. No one's perfect. Nobody's perfect. And what makes you is your imperfections. And I think that's what Jayce really said to Viktor at the end. So I think Viktor kind of was clouded with the idea of, I could save all these people. If I feel this way, they all surely feel this way too. But then again, it gets out of hand and becomes kind of corrupted. by a lot. And I think it just went to craziness because at the end of the day in life, there's just always going to be suffering, and it's just something that we can't escape. And I think Viktor just wanted to try to make that escape. This is what I got out of the show from their storyline. If I'm wrong, please let me know nicely, please. But that's how I kind of saw it. And then Jayce, when he was kind of like thrown into the future, he was experiencing the climb from the bottom all the way to the top and like the struggle. People were saying it kind of paralleled or like symbolized Viktor's climb to the top, his struggle from, you know, from suffering from his illness and not being able to walk, being disabled, and then climbing his way to the very top in life. So a lot of people were kind of like paralleling that together. And I think the scene where at the very end, Jayce was like, why did you give this to me? Like, why did you give me this thing? Because Viktor was the hooded man that gave him the Arcane when he was a kid, right? And then Viktor was like, because you're the only one that could show me this. So him in the future was telling him, you're the only one that can knock some sense into me. I was like getting so emotional when I saw that part because it was like Viktor was just so one-minded in that moment, and his partner Jayce was the only one that can show him his actions are gonna create in the future. There will be no life. It's just like all these alien robots and dystopia, and the only thing that will be alive is him, aka Viktor. He's just gonna be alone wandering the universe by himself. I think that also kind of reminded me when the girly disappeared. I think it was after the doctor tried reviving Viktor, and then the girly that was like within him disappeared, and he was like, I will miss you. I really enjoy the company. And then she was like, no, you won't. And I think at the moment she did not agree with what he was doing. This is what I think. I don't know if this is true, but I think she did not really agree with what he was doing, and she knew that he was like just losing his way. Even the first season when she got sucked up and she kind of became one with Viktor was like so crazy. I was like, whoa, he ate her. But the way she just disappeared and he was just like, I guess I'll miss you. She's like, no, you won't. I think Jayce and Viktor had one of the strongest like relationships in the show. I think in the first season, he kind of lost his way a little bit and kind of forgot about Viktor. And then Viktor was just working on hex tech from night into day. In the second season, it was a little bit the other way, where Viktor was working on it a little bit too much. I think at the end of the day, Ekko saved everybody, and they didn't have to go through that loop all over again. And I think Viktor was so amazing in knowing that Jayce is the only one that's gonna get through to him. And while I was watching this really reminded me of Little Nightmares 2. And I don't know if any of you guys have played Little Nightmares 2, but Little Nightmares 2, spoilers, skip this if you don't want spoilers, but Little Nightmares 2 kind of followed this time loop as well. You're playing the game through this character, and you're also with this other character named Six, who was in the first Little Nightmares, and you're going through this whole journey trying to save Six and yourself. Throughout this whole story, this tall man is trying to stop you from saving Six. Basically, if you make it throughout the game, at the very end, Six betrays you, and you realize that you all along was a tall man. And throughout the story, you were just telling yourself and trying to stop yourself from saving Six. And then it just becomes a time loop over and over again of him trying to stop himself from saving Six and Six just betraying you. And it's like a time loop. So when I watched this, it was kind of similar because it was like in many, many different dimensions and lifetimes, Viktor just tried to stop Jayce and tried to tell Jayce to stop him. In many, many different dimensions and lifetimes, he failed because they were destined to fail until Ekko saved everybody again. At the end of the day, Ekko's the MVP. And he really saved everybody because it would have just ended the same. Really, it really would have just ended the same. Just so crazy. But yeah, anyways, I think that's just my thoughts on Arcane. I kind of want to react to some memes. Now we react to memes. Yay! Give my boy Ekko his girl back right now, please. Two sisters mourning each other. This is so sad and so true. I feel like Vi had to mourn Jinx and Powder. There's no good version of me. I've seen two. Aww, this person's so sweet. I think Jinx was just such a broken person. She went through so much, and it's just such a shame about what happened. And at least in another universe, she's alive and well. Almost cried at how loving and loved Powder was in this universe. Honestly, yeah. I remember in the first season, the kids are always like saying, Powder, no, 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 right? But it's like back then they were kids, and it's nice to see that in that universe they kind of grew up and grown past it after Vi passed away. So like, I don't know, it's really sad. It's nice to see that there was just another universe where she was happy. Not that she's not loved in Jinx's universe, in a different way. Viktor in Arcane, Viktor in game, beautiful. Arcane Act 3 spoilers. You were never broken, Viktor. There is beauty in imperfections. They made you who you are. Life isn't worth freaking living. No, true. Ugh, so sad. Ekko painting cute little memorials. Heimer singing his little songs. Jayce. This part was so crazy, to be honest. It's so funny because it's like I like gasped so hard, but I got spoiled. But I forgot I got spoiled. So then when it happened, I still like dancing and the scene cutting to Jayce fighting for his life sticking me out. No, it's so funny. It's so funny. Maybe in another life. My whole timeline was just them two. Oh, I'm crying. This is the cutest thing. So I think this little sign that Jinx or Powder does is her mom's. I wonder what it means. Maybe hello or see you later. This is healing whatever Arcane broke in me. I feel like I had a little bit of post-show depression. It's been a long time since I felt that. I think initially after finishing the show, I wasn't really like sad. I was more like, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed because it's already past 12 o'clock and I'm old. But then like after that, when I'm like scrolling on Twitter and stuff or online and I see things, like I feel it more now. What could have happened in their home with a TV, a flat screen TV? Like what happened to the original plot of the movie? This feels like 5 million years ago. Honestly, it does. But this was like the first act, no? Yeah, this was the first act. This was like, this feels eons ago. So sad. Like even look at that drawing that she made. Like what? I feel like a lot of the story changed. What even goes on in League of Legends, right? I have never played the game, but like what is happening? I'll accept anything from Noxus as long as she's involved. I feel like Arcane, you can like watch it and then pause at any moment and it's literally a desktop wallpaper. Like that's how beautiful it is. Vi and Caitlyn's romance scene in Arcane season 2 was dialed back from the show's original version. We got a slap on the wrist. And then this is me leaving the studio with a USB drive containing the extended unblurred full version of Cat Vi scene up my... Honestly, we need to see that. I think we deserve that, right? I don't understand why people are mad at Vi for how she reacted during this scene. When Vander died the first time, she was never given the time to grieve, but then he came back and lost him a second time. She was experiencing years of unexplored grief. Her reaction was human. Honestly, I felt the same. I was a little bit like, girl, get off the platform. But like looking back now, it's like, nah, the way she was sad was valid. The way she acted was valid. The way she still sees Vander in him is crazy. Like that's how... When she does that, it's like, ugh, my heart. Oh. And then the flashbacks, like, do we have to see that? Yes, we do. So we can cry. Oh my god. So they had like a watch party of this in Argentina. I wish I was a part of this. This looked so fun. The way everyone's screaming like a teleseria, like, kiss. Oh my god. Literally. And then they just go back to dancing. The jokes about these two will never get old. Put these two in the studio and this is what you're getting. Yeah, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard in my life. Oh my god. I also forgot to talk about her, but like, I remember in the beginning I was like, I hate this girl. And later in the end, it's kind of like, oh, like she was just there throughout the whole thing and she was like by Jinx's side. She just really cared about like the Undercity and their people and stuff like that, right? If Savika had a Facebook, I feel like she would have a profile picture like this. She's probably taking it like this. Click. Okay, that's a good one. I'm still laughing about this. Help me. Wait, this is Arcane real ending. Guys, I'm so glad Arcane ending happily. What a show. Slaps Caitlyn. That's for being with Maddie and leaving me. Kisses Caitlyn on cheek. And that's for saving me. Okay. I apologize for using toxic gas against Zon. As now a new counselor of Piltover, I will work to help restore the Undercity. Love you. Bye. Kisses. Bye. Who made this? What are we? Some kind of League of Legends? Guys, I'm glad I was able to fix my tree. Nice. I resurrected my commune and I did not realize the harm I was going to cause. I'm sorry, everyone. Yeah, everyone. It's okay, Viktor. We forgive you. Aww. I am now ruler of Noxus and will help restore Zon and Piltover. Yay. I'm the president of Zon and I'm going to rebuild the last drop. Hey, you guys missing a few people? OMG, my dad and sister and Isha is alive and healthy. I love you, my daughters. Aww, I'm alive and healthy, and I'm happy to see you. Bye. This guy, he was like dad number 2. He was like the second dad. Like he watched over them. The way he died was like, it's crazy because it's like in war, it's just like the regular people that were there. The guy with the family, and then the girl, and then the musician. The musician lived, but like everyone else kind of GG's for them. You kind of see how pointless war can be and how fast life can just be taken like that. My heart broke when he died. I'm glad to have you back, Dolores. This calls for a celebration. Hit it. Imagine Dragons. Singing, oh, the happiness everyone to be my friend. Nice. I need to know what happened between Ekko and Jinx in the deleted scenes because this is so beautiful. But I really wish like we saw, you know, a little bit more fleshed out version. Ekko was back for one day and she was already wearing his jacket. His game must be studied. For real? Someone tweeted this in December 26, 2021. You ever think about how Caitlyn dropping the single piece of Jayce's junk in the corridor outside his study gave Vi and Co an early warning to try and escape with enough time, and how incredibly different everything would have been if she hadn't, because I do. And then now they tweeted, girl, she would have died. Why did I say that? Actually, technically, a lot of people would have lived, but Vi would have died. Yes. Want to know something cool and traumatic? Vi's tumbler glass at the end is Vander's. So sad, so sad. Look at that. So they're talking about how their romance scene was dialed back, and then someone made this edit, original cut. Cupcake. Oh yeah, this is so funny. Someone said I was bawling about Mel and Jayce's scene, but that's because the first time I watched it, I genuinely believed Jayce and Viktor were a couple. That's so funny. And that Jayce was cheating on his dying boyfriend. You're so real for that. This made me laugh. Someone said, I missed season 1 Viktor and his dumbass commentary.
So far, so good.
That's quite the conviction.
Wait a minute, what is my bedroom?
Wait a minute, this is not my bedroom. So what? Oh, I love this one. If you've seen the original meme, you'll get it.
Oh my God! Throw it back! Throw the damn fish back!
The way they would do that for real is so funny. That's literally them. Jayce's marks are from Viktor holding him from the back, as opposed to everyone else who Viktor touched from the front. This symbolizes faction. Stop. Stop. Don't act so surprised. Time bomb. Like her look here, like, was so sad. The artist did such an amazing job. But like, you look at her and you feel anguish. Oh, Ekko saving Jinx from killing herself and using other powders words to save her. Oh my god. Love the way it was a small time loop.
You know, I learned from someone very special.
Very special.
No matter what happened in the past, it's never too late to build something new.
Never too late. I wonder when he uses this, does like everyone in Piltover kind of zoop and just don't notice? Best episode of the season, but I'm in tears. I know, this was the best part, I think. Not that she, but like, it was so emotional, the way they delivered it. See, like, this is what I was saying when Jinx, it wasn't underwhelming. It's more like there wasn't really a build up to it like this. So it's like, only real characters that actually die have flashbacks, other than characters that die in like the first episode, other than characters that don't really matter that much. The art here is so pretty, the flashback art. And then her tears, like, she knew it was over. Remember them just having fun together. Like, I was at this point. So sad. She's so brave though. I think what's really sad about Vander's death also was Vander didn't get to rest. He was experimented on for many years. When he was getting a little bit better, he got to feel a little bit of peace, but then that was just only corrupted because Jayce, but mainly Viktor's fault. He looked like he was in pain. That did not look good. I don't know if Vander was really in there still at that moment, but I think it was so sad. Ekko gets to see the life that could have been Jayce. This is so funny. Taking off her mask like we couldn't recognize from that haircut. Literally, all you needed was that bob and you would know who she was. Ekko is such a bad liar. It's endearing. Probably knew something was off way earlier.
Sometimes taking a leap forward means leaving a few things behind.
That quote, sometimes taking a leap forward means leaving a few things behind. That's literally what, if Jinx is alive, did. Part of me wishes Maddie didn't die so we could see Vi go absolutely ballistic on her when she finds out she almost executed Caitlyn. True. Open for a surprise. Oh, I didn't see this. Silco, Vander, they were besties. Isha, Viktor, Jinx, Vi, Caitlyn. Okay, we ball. Malnourished, heavy eye bags, dehydrated, and on the verge of insanity. Her in this scene, literally. In another live. This live looked so happy. You think there'll be like an OVA of like this life? A little slice of life. And then Vi and Caitlyn reincarnated or something as kids. And they get their happy ending too. Oh yeah, this part was so scary. It reminds me of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It's very much similar. Something Jayce gaining a permanent leg disability and Viktor now being able to move free of physical pain. Something two sides of the same coin. The parallels of Viktor and Jayce. In the first season, Jayce was like all the way up here and then Viktor was like down here fighting for his life, trying to do stuff with Hex Tech. And then in season 2, it's like flipped in a different way.
You're too late, Ekko.
Why is it the same thing? And all he needed was 4 seconds. Even the lyrics make sense.
Can we pretend this is our first time?
I love this one. This is so funny. He was just going through it. He really was going through it. And I love that Duolingo posted this. Me before Hex Tech. Me after Hex Tech. Why? I think that's all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to me ramble about Arcane. I'm so sorry I'm not like some expert on League of Legends or Arcane. I don't really understand a whole plot point as well. I'm just going off of my vibes right now and rambling as if we're in a room together yapping about Arcane, okay? If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like it and subscribe for more. I definitely really miss just these rambling videos of me talking about stories that I really love and shows that I really love. So I kind of want to do them more, but I kind of also post a lot of like different fun videos as well, so definitely check those out. I do have a reaction channel, so I've been trying to do like reactions again. I used to mainly do reactions, but I kind of like don't like doing them on my main, so I kind of do them for fun on a different channel, which on series that I'm going to review, but I definitely will do these rambling stuff as well. But definitely check out the reaction channel if you guys are into those types of animes that I'm watching currently, and also recommend me some anime to watch in the comments below and let me know what you guys think about Arcane. Like, what's your favorite thing about it? What's something that you didn't like? What are some theories? Like, is Jinx alive? Do you think they're gonna continue this story in some other region? But yeah, just let me know any of your thoughts and I will read it. But yeah, that's all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.